That constant exhaustion you feel, even after a full night's sleep, it isn't stress, it isn't depression, it is a harvesting process. For 2,000 years, forbidden texts hidden in Egypt warned us that this world is not a school, it is a farm. And today, we are going to show you exactly how to unlock the gate and escape. Let's go back to the source, the Gnostic Gospels. Discovered in 1945, they didn't just offer a new version of Christianity. They offered a terrifying explanation for the human condition. They revealed that this material world is not created by a benevolent God. It is a simulation, a prison designed for one specific purpose, to keep you asleep. The ancient Gnostics were the first whistleblowers. They taught that humanity is trapped in a system run by entities called the Archons. These aren't politicians or kings. They are non-organic interdimensional entities operating just outside the visible light spectrum. Think about it. Why does life require death to sustain itself? Why is suffering the default state of existence? The Gnostics argued that a God of pure love would never design a system based on predation. Therefore, the architect of this system is not the true God. Pause this video for a second. If you have ever felt this glitch in reality, this feeling that you don't belong here, type "I am awake" in the comments right now. Let's see how many of us have realized the truth. Do it now. This is the first forbidden truth. You are a battery in a cosmic farm. The anxiety and fear constantly pumped into your consciousness through news and wars is not accidental. It is food. It is fuel. But the most dangerous thing about this prison is that the door is unlocked. You have simply been programmed to believe it is sealed. These texts were not written to save your soul. It is already immortal. They were written to save your mind from the amnesia that keeps you returning here, life after life. Today, we will expose the entities running this simulation, the false god they serve, and the specific technology used to hack the system and escape. Part 1. The False God and the Archons. To understand the escape, you must first understand the jailer. In the secret book of John, one of the most important Gnostic texts, a cosmology is revealed that turns modern religion upside down. It speaks of the monad. The monad is the true source, the ineffable light, pure consciousness that exists beyond time, space, and matter. The monad did not create this chaotic world. The monad emanated pure aeons of light, but an accident occurred in the higher dimensions. An aeon named Sophia Wisdom desired to create on her own, without the balance of her counterpart. This act of imbalance resulted in a birthing, but she did not birth a being of light. She birthed a grotesque, shadowed entity, a being of madness and power, but without a connection to the source. The Gnostics called him Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge. This entity, blind and arrogant, looked around the empty void and saw nothing but himself. He declared, "I am God, and there is no other God beside me." Does that sound familiar? It is the exact phrase used by the jealous, angry God of the Old Testament. The Gnostics realized that the entity worshipped by the masses, the one demanding blood sacrifices, obedience, and fear, was not the true Father. It was the Demiurge. The Demiurge, unable to create true life, could only copy. He looked at the higher realms of light and tried to replicate them in dense, heavy matter. He built the physical universe as a distorted reflection of the divine realm, a counterfeit heaven. But he needed servants to manage this realm. He created the Archons. These are the rulers of the planetary spheres. In Gnostic astrology, the 7 classical planets were not just celestial bodies. They were the 7 spheres of control, each guarded by an Archon. When a soul descends into a human body, it must pass through these 7 spheres, and at each sphere, The Archons strip the soul of its divine power and clothe it in a garment of deception. From Saturn, they give you the spirit of laziness. From Mars, the spirit of anger. From Venus, the spirit of lust. From the Moon, the spirit of envy. By the time you are born into a physical body, you are wrapped in so many layers of archontic influence that you have forgotten who you are. You identify with your anger. You identify with your jealousy. You think these emotions are you, but they are not. They are the software installed by the Archons to keep you predictable. The Demiurge creates the stage, the Archons pull the strings, and humanity dances. But there was one thing the Demiurge could not create: the divine spark, the spirit. When Sophia saw the monster she had created, she tricked him. She breathed her own divine essence into the human form. This means that you, the human being, carry a spark of the true light that the Demiurge himself does not possess. You are more powerful than the god of this world, and that is why they fear you. That is why they must keep you distracted, divided, and asleep. Because if you ever realized what you actually are, their entire illusion would collapse in an instant. Part 2. The harvesting of human energy. Why do they do it? Why build a matrix of suffering? The answer is simple thermodynamics. The Demiurge and the Archons are cut off from the monad. They are cut off from the eternal source of energy. They are like a machine that has been unplugged from the wall. To survive, they must find another power source. That power source is you. Specifically, they feed on Loosh. Loosh is a term coined by Robert Monroe, but the Gnostics described the exact same concept 2,000 years ago. It is the energy generated by intense human emotion. But not just any emotion. High-frequency emotions like love, joy, and peace are toxic to them. They are too fast, too pure. The Archons require low-frequency vibrations. Fear, anxiety, guilt, rage, lust, despair. Think about the design of human society. When you sit in front of your screen, terrified about the future, you are being harvested. When you engage in hateful arguments online, you are serving dinner to your captors. When you replay a traumatic memory over and over in your head, feeling the guilt wash over you, you are directing a stream of energetic voltage directly to the archontic entities attached to your field. They function like cosmic parasites. They attach to your energy body, your aura. The Gnostics taught that Archons can implant thoughts directly into your mind. Have you ever had a sudden, intrusive thought that was violent, self-destructive, or incredibly dark? A thought that didn't feel like you? The Gnostics warned us. They are not your thoughts. The Archons whisper into the mind to trigger an emotional reaction. They whisper a thought of insecurity to make you jealous. They whisper a thought of doom to make you afraid. And the moment you react, the moment you feel the emotion, they feed. This is the mechanism of control. It is not political. It is not social. It is energetic. They have designed a culture where we are addicted to the very things that drain us. We are addicted to drama. We are addicted to outrage. We seek out content that makes us angry. We are voluntarily walking into the slaughterhouse and offering up our light. But the system has a flaw. The harvest only works if the victim is unaware. It only works if you believe the thoughts are yours. It only works if you believe you are powerless. 2,000 years ago, a messenger from the Pleroma, the true realm of light, descended into the simulation to hack the program. He didn't come to start a religion. He didn't come to ask for worship. He came to deliver the codes required to block the harvest and dismantle the prison from the inside. His name was Jesus, but not the Jesus of the church, the Gnostic Jesus. And his teachings were so dangerous that the system spent 2 millennia trying to destroy them. In the next part, we will reveal exactly what he taught and the 3 physical tools he gave to his inner circle to render the Archons powerless. Part 3. The Forbidden Gnostic Christ. If the world is a prison and the Archons are the wardens, then who was Jesus? The Church will tell you he was a sacrifice, that he came to pay a debt for your sins. But Gnosticism asks a different question. If the creator of this world, the Demiurge, is flawed, then who exactly requires the blood sacrifice? Only a monster demands blood. The true Father, the monad, requires nothing. In the Gnostic texts found at Nag Hammadi, Jesus is not a savior who demands worship. He is a revealer. He is a hacker who entered the simulation to wake up the other players. In the Gospel of Thomas, a text excluded from the Bible because it was too dangerous, Jesus says, "He who will drink from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become he, and the things that are hidden will be revealed to him." Do you understand the magnitude of that statement? He is not saying worship me, he is saying become me. He is telling his disciples that they originate from the same source as he does. He is saying that you have the same capacity to access the pleroma, the divine fullness, as he did. The Archons terrified the early church leaders with this idea, because if you realize you are equal to Christ, the church loses its power. The priest becomes unnecessary. The hierarchy collapses. The Gnostic Jesus taught that sin is not a moral failure. It is simply ignorance. The only sin is forgetting who you are. The only salvation is Gnosis, knowledge. Not intellectual knowledge, but direct, experiential knowledge of the divine spark within. But he knew that humanity was trapped in a dense biological machine, the body that makes remembering difficult. The Archons constantly bombard the human biofield with interference. So, according to the Gospel of Philip and oral Gnostic traditions, Jesus gave his inner circle specific tools. He didn't just give them prayers, he gave them technology, physical anchors that operate on frequencies the Archons cannot touch. We are about to reveal the 3 technologies that the Archons have tried to ban. This information is hard to find and easily suppressed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications right now. By doing so, you signal to the algorithm and the universe that you demand the truth. Don't let this knowledge disappear from your feed. Part 4. The 3 Sacred Technologies. We have arrived at the core of the transmission. These are the 3 objects that the powers of this world have tried to erase from history. They are simple, yet they act as frequency modulators for your consciousness. The first tool deals with the primary weapon of the Archons, blindness. They rely on you not seeing them. They rely on your third eye, the pineal gland, being calcified and dormant. Jesus pointed to the stone of the sky, Lapis Lazuli. This is not New Age superstition. It is ancient science. Lapis Lazuli contains pyrite fool's gold, which is conductive. But more importantly, the deep blue structure of this stone resonates at a specific frequency that stimulates the pineal gland. The Egyptians knew this. They pulverized it and wore it on their eyes. But the Gnostic instruction is different. You must carry the raw or polished stone against your skin. When you introduce the frequency of Lapis Lazuli to your biofield, it acts as a signal booster for your intuition. The Archons operate in the lower astral bands. When your third eye is closed, they are invisible. When it opens, even slightly, their camouflage fails. Those who carry this stone for 30 days report a disturbing but necessary phenomenon. They start to see the energy behind people's words. You will look at a politician, a celebrity, or even a toxic friend, and you will not see their face. You will feel the entity feeding through them. It is not a hallucination. It is the removal of a filter. Use this stone if you feel mentally foggy, disconnected, or if you suspect you are being manipulated but can't prove it, the stone makes the truth visible. The second tool deals with the Archon's second weapon, amnesia. They want you to forget your lineage. The instruction is to take a piece of virgin paper, paper that has never been written on, and with your own hand, in permanent ink, write the phrase that seals your sovereignty. I am monad. Why write it? Why not just say it? Because writing brings the thought from the mental realm into the physical realm. It is an act of manifestation. I am is the declaration of existence. Monad is the identification with the source, not the demiurge. You are declaring, I am not a body. I am not a servant of the creator of this world. I am a fractal of the infinite source. Fold this paper 3 times. In Gnostic numerology, 3 is the number of stability. Carry it in your left pocket or wear it over your heart. This object acts as a spiritual passport. In the astral realms, entities recognize rank by frequency. When you carry this declaration, you are broadcasting a signal that says you are aware of your origin. The Archons are predators of opportunity. They target the weak, the confused, the unsure. They avoid those who know their authority. This piece of paper is your badge of authority. The third tool deals with the Archon's third weapon, environmental oppression. Have you ever entered a room and felt instantly drained? Or lived in a house where arguments happen constantly, no matter how hard you try to stop them? This is environmental infestation. The Gnostic solution is the circle of the monad. Draw a perfect circle. Inside the center, place a single, distinct point. The circle represents the pleroma, the fullness of God. The point represents you, the spark. The symbol signifies that you are in the center of God, protected on all sides. Place this symbol in the 4 corners of your home, or at least in the room where you sleep. This is not decoration. It is geometry. Geometry organizes energy. Chaos cannot exist in the presence of perfect order. By placing this symbol, you are creating a Faraday cage for your consciousness. It creates a zone of silence where the Archon noise cannot penetrate. This is where you regenerate. This is where you reconnect. The final escape, breaking the cycle. We have discussed how to survive in the prison. Now, we must discuss the most critical moment of your existence, how to leave it. This is the most important part of the Gnostic revelation. It is the forbidden instruction regarding death itself. For eons, humanity has been conditioned to believe a comforting lie. We have been told that when we take our final breath, we will see a magnificent tunnel of light. We will see our deceased grandmothers, our lost pets, and religious figures waiting to embrace us. We will feel an overwhelming, magnetic sense of love and peace. And the instruction has always been, go towards the light. The Gnostics warned, do not go into the light. This sounds terrifying to the uninitiated. It goes against every instinct you have been programmed with. But listen closely. The Archons cannot destroy a soul. You are eternal energy. Therefore, they can only recycle you. They need you to come back. They need their food source to return to the farm. The tunnel of light is not the gateway to heaven. It is the final trap. It is a high-tech soul catcher designed to wipe your memory. When you enter that light, you are often subjected to a process called the life review. This is their masterstroke. You are placed in a panoramic theater where you watch every mistake you made in your life. But you don't just watch it. You feel the pain you caused others. Beings of light, who are often Archons in disguise, using holographic projection, will stand as your judges. They will weaponize your own empathy against you. They will say, look at the pain you caused. You have not learned your lessons. You have accrued karmic debt. You must go back. You must try again to be better. And because of your guilt, because of your disorientation, and because you have forgotten your divine origin, you agree. You sign the soul contract. And in that instant, your memory is erased. You are born again, blank, helpless, crying in a delivery room, ready to be harvested for another lifetime of suffering. The final escape is an act of supreme will and rebellion. When you leave your physical body and see that mesmerizing tunnel, do not look at it. Instead, turn away. Look for the inner light. The Gnostics taught that the spark of the monad is not outside of you, it is within you. You must spin your consciousness away from the tunnel, away from the projections of relatives, away from the false heaven. You must declare the same truth you carried in your pocket, projecting it with all the force of your soul. I am monad. I am free. I do not consent. By refusing the tunnel, by refusing the judgment, you shatter the contract. You break the cycle of reincarnation. You bypass the 7 spheres of the Archons, shooting past the false construct of the Demiurge like a rocket, returning directly to the true pleroma, the realm of pure, unharvested light. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "I have conquered the world." He didn't mean he conquered Rome. He meant he conquered the illusion. He hacked the death process. You now have the map. You know the nature of the prison. You know the name of the jailers. You possess the 3 tools to protect your energy while you are here. And most importantly, you know the exit strategy for when the curtain falls. The question is no longer, is this true? The deep resonance you feel in your chest right now tells you it is true. The question is, now that you are awake, will you let yourself fall back asleep? Or will you begin the work? Obtain the stone, write the name, draw the symbol. The exit door is open. Walk through it. If this message resonated with your spirit, leave a like on this video, not for numbers, but to amplify this frequency so others can find the exit door too. Share this with one person you know is ready to wake up.